Hey guys, I'm going to try to keep this video as short but informative as possible. So remember, the reason why you're doing a project instead of a test is just to make that learning more meaningful. Remember, on a test, it's easy to cheat, so it's harder to get motivated to learn that information. On a project, you can't necessarily cheat. So hopefully this will make that learning process more meaningful, thus you feel a little bit more motivated and it's just easier to get your stuff done. So that was my thinking process behind the project instead of a test. You're going to be using your research notes to create a poster slash infographic on the judicial branch. You're going to choose either or, whichever one you're most comfortable with. If you're a person who does not like technology, like you get frustrated with it easily, you might want to do a poster instead. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like this big poster. You could do it on a plain sheet of white paper, that's fine too. If you're somebody where you don't like drawing, your handwriting's really messy, and you'd rather do things digitally, you can go ahead and do an infographic. And I'll show you guys what website to use and a few tutorials on how to make that infographic. And your poster infographic will be on the judicial branch. Step 1, complete the judicial branch research notes. They look like this, and it has all of the information that you need in order to be successful on this project. Most of your points for this project will come from the information, of course, and the accuracy of your information. If you follow and answer these questions exactly using the text that I put up there, using our textbook, you should be good to go. I will also be reviewing your information and like correcting your information as you go, not necessarily for points, but so that way you know you have the correct information. So make sure you do your research notes, and if I add any comments, that's not to pick on you, it's just to make sure that you have everything you need to be successful. All right, then once you have your research notes finished, you're going to use those research notes to create an infographic or poster about the judicial branch. If you are not sure what an infographic is, you've probably seen one before, and it's just information in more of a graphic form. Okay, so that would look like this. This is an infographic on infographics. All right, if that doesn't interest you, you can do the poster instead. Make sure that your poster has these 3 different bullet points. That's a lot of information, but as long as you have the information from your research notes on your poster infographic, you're good to go. Next thing that you got to do is just download your infographic. I'll have a tutorial that'll show you how to do that, or take a picture of your poster and submit it to Google Classroom, and then you're all done. All right, so I kind of been mentioning the tutorials a little bit. I will have a whole section under this project one-stop post on Google Classroom where I will go over tutorials on how to create an infographic, how to add headings, how to add a title, how to add images, and all that important stuff. You're going to be using Piktochart.com. That's one that I am the most familiar with, so I would feel more comfortable helping you through that one. And I also know that this is 100% free for you guys, so that's why we're doing Piktochart. Okay, how to be successful on this project. Make sure you do those research notes first. It's super exciting to create like the infographic online, choose your background and all that kind of stuff, or to like go ahead and start cutting out paper to do your poster, but most of your points are from the research and the information, so make sure you do those research notes first. And then if you're one of those people who's really, really good at taking a big project and breaking it down into steps for yourself, awesome. If you're not one of those people, my husband is a grown man and he is not good at that. I will have a little mini goal to help you stay on track. Okay, and I'll make sure that those mini goals are posted on each day's post on Google Classroom. That way you know whether or not you're falling behind, or if you're ahead of schedule, or if you're right on track. If I leave any feedback, make sure you just adjust your work accordingly. That feedback's not to like pick on you, it's just to help you be successful on this project. And then if you're doing the infographic, take a look at those Piktochart tutorials and product examples to help guide your work. If you have any questions, or if you're stuck on the Piktochart infographic software, you can always call, email, text. And then make sure you check the rubric before officially submitting it on Google Classroom. Speaking of the rubric, here it is. It's a total of 18 points, and as you can tell, most of the points is from the information. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 5 columns are all information. The last 2 would be like how your poster infographic looks. Make sure you have a relevant image or picture. If you're doing a poster, you can just draw or print a picture out and paste it onto your poster. If you're doing an infographic, you could do like a picture from Google Images, or you can use some of the preloaded pictures or images or clip art on the Piktochart website. And then make sure your poster or infographic was easy to understand, visually appealing. So make sure that your information is organized under headings. That way, if I was looking for, I don't know, limits of the Supreme Court, their powers and limits, I could look for a heading that says powers and limits of the Supreme Court, and I'd be able to find that information easily. If you're doing a poster, make sure that your handwriting is nice and neat and easy to read. That's pretty much it. Okay. All right, so here's kind of an overview of the schedule and mini goals. January 5th, make sure you complete the federal court judges section of the research notes. On the 6th, you're going to do the 2 lower court sections on your research notes. January 7th, you're going to complete the Supreme Court jurisdiction and duties section. January 8th, you're going to complete the Supreme Court powers and limits section, and that'll be the end of those research notes. Over the weekend, I'll be reviewing each and every student's research notes, making sure that things are all accurate and good to go. And I'll leave comments for you. And then on Monday, when you guys come back, you'll go ahead and review my feedback, revise your research notes according to my feedback, and start working on your infographics. And then January 12th and 13th is just dedicated to working on your infographics. If you work ahead of schedule, you can kind of have, January 12th and 13th to yourself as separate work time. So if you finish early, you could always use that work time for work time in this class, other classes, so on and so forth. I think that's pretty much all I need to say. Hopefully that was short enough for you guys. If you have any questions, you know where to go.